For you and me.
We run beauty pageants. We're JC.
Why do you like beauty pageants?
It gives a girl a chance to show what she can do.
Just one day I'd like to see when mirrors are broken history.
But what gal could wish for more than this sunny yellow and earth-tone wool tweed? It features the closer to the body shaping. It certainly does shape up.
The new suits are really an eyeful. A lot more beautiful, huh?
New forms fit so superbly that even corseteers, those experts in figure flattery, give them their blessing.
The 1968 Miss America pageant.
Fat.
New Miss America stands 5 feet 7, weighs 125 pounds, and measures 36, 24 and a half, 36.
The answer to the public's demand for new things, better things, more beautiful things.
Anyone in the public eye must have fine appearance in addition to talent.
Life without mirrors would give us
Ugly.
peace for you and me.
We run beauty pageants. We're
Why do you
JC.
like beauty pageants?
It gives a girl a chance to show what she can do.
Shape up. Shape up.
125 pounds or 25
Shape up. Shape up.
Now, let us give one final salute to Miss America of 1968.
Keeping us alive. Feel the pulse. Can you feel the pulse?
So we just watched Distorted Reality by Christine Fraser. Really sorry about the technical glitch that we had at the beginning, but I guess the audio gave a little preview of the video that we were about to play. And what a fantastic film. And congratulations, Christine, for such a beautiful production. And we're going to watch your second film too. Before we go on to questions and reflections and comments, I would love everybody to introduce themselves. Please introduce yourself. Tell us which city you're logging in from and what inspired you to produce the film or the book that we're going to talk about very soon. We'll start with Christine, who's the director of the film Distorted Reality, and Queen Bree that we're going to watch. Christine.
Hi there. My name is Christine Sauka Fraser. I'm in Stouffville, which is just sort of northeast of the Toronto area. So this was actually a project for school. So I'm in film production at York University, and this was actually my second year alternative or experimental film offering. And most of my films come from a social justice place, it seems. So that's, was always something that was important to me. So you'll see in both of my films, those aspects are touched on. And yeah, I was looking to focus on the media and how the media affected body image and eating disorders and things like that. So, and then end with a positive message of we're all beautiful.
Yeah, I think you beautifully portrayed that at the end. And it's just so beautiful to see like how such a visual narrative could convey such a strong message. And the mirror was a really good narrative device to show the dualities that a person could go through, so fantastic, Christine. Thank you so much. Kiera?
Yeah, hi everyone. I am a poet and I am a postdoctoral scholar in digital humanities at the University of Guelph right now, where I study the feminization and denigration of women's writing and their associated publishing technologies. I'll be moving to the University of Waterloo in August to start a SSHRC postdoctoral fellowship, which is very exciting. Yeah, and so I came to Jessica Jones at the time that it came out. I found it to be just such a refreshing story about trauma and superheroes and women in society. And so I just was really excited to have the opportunity to contribute a chapter to the book. And it was so lovely to work with Grace and Jessica and Pri as well. And yeah, so that's how I came to the project. And I am logging in today from Mimico, which is kind of on the west side of Toronto.
Thank you, Kiera. Tanner?
I'm Tanner Ferris. I am an actor actually in Christine's second film. I am a drag queen and I'm logging in from Uxbridge, so just a little bit further out from the city than Christine. And I'm inspired to do the art that I do because it just brings happiness to people's lives and expands on diversity a little bit more.
Thank you, Tanner. Grace?
Hi, folks. I am Grace Lau. My pronouns are she and her, and I hail from Oakville, which is about half an hour to 40 minutes just west of Toronto. And I am one of the co-editors of Diverging the Popular, Gender and Trauma, aka the Jessica Jones Anthology. My two other fantastic co-editors, Pri and Jessica, are pretty much taken over the chat. But just like Kiera, a lot of the kind of reasons, really the motivating reason for us to, take on this project really was because, well, at the very core, we were all big nerds and geeks for the series, especially when it first came out in December 2015. What really drew us into it was those kinds of narratives of trauma, but and the way it's depicted in media on this kind of like big media platform. But what we were really what we had seen over time as we taken on this call or we've set out the CFP and got all these chapters was really a much more nuanced a series. And so we really embraced an intersectional feminist analysis, looking through the entire series, but specifically the first season, but really, it's really the entire series. And so when we're looking at this intersectional analysis, we were really interested in how all genders are represented, not just the women, main characters like Jessica and Trish and so on and so forth, but also how their identities, their experiences are impacted at the intersection of race, class, and sexuality. And so, what started out as kind of this small, what we thought was a small project actually came out to this really amazing kind of collection of not just scholars, but also people who are fans, not just of the series, but also of the comic book.
Yeah, and you do have artists on board as well. Pri is an artist, I assume?
Pri is an artist, yes. Sorry, I should have mentioned that earlier. I didn't really mention any of our credentials. But yes, Pri is an artist and a graduate of the Master's Program of Communication and Culture at York and Toronto Metropolitan Universities. Jessica and I are PhD candidates in Communication and Culture at York and Toronto Metropolitan Universities. And I also teach sociology at Humber Polytechnic and in the University of Guelph Humber. And Jessica also teaches in, I want to say Mount, Jessica, please help me out here, out in Nova Scotia.
She's there, I'm sure.
Yes.
Jessica, you can tell us which university you're at. But before that, Bethan, introduce yourself. Thank you so much for coming and celebrating both the film and the book. We'd love to hear from you, Bethan.
Thank you, and thank you for inviting me. So my name is Bethan Jones, my pronouns are she, her, and I'm a lecturer and postdoctoral research associate at Cardiff University. So I'm actually in the UK at the moment. I'm like 5 hours ahead of pretty much everybody else, just north of Cardiff. And I'm not involved with the films or the book, but Samita very kindly asked me to be here because my background's in fan studies. So I've written about gender and fandom, fan fiction, toxic fandom, anti-fandom, all of that sort of stuff, which I think will kind of gel very nicely with the film, certainly the film that we've already seen, and the book as well. So I'm really excited to talk in with you all about everything.
Any initial impression about the film, Bethan?
I really liked it. And I think that kind of depiction of like what the media tells us we should look like as women, you know, what women are, the things, you know, we need to consider being beautiful, we're not allowed to be fat, and how that distorts our perceptions quite a lot of the time, I thought was really striking. And it's something that I'm just going to get personal, it's something that I've been thinking about a lot lately because I have a lot of tattoos, but I also exist in a fat body, and I would like to get more tattoos. I want to get my ribs done, I want to get my stomach done, but I feel like I can't because we are told, you know, you've got to be thin in order to be attractive. So I really enjoyed it, and I thought it was so well done, particularly the ending when we see this full range of body types. I thought it was really powerful.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing your experience, Bethan. And I think many of us share. We have that collective experience. Christine, any thoughts on what Bethan just said?
Well, I'm going to tear up because that's what I do. But thank you for sharing that. I mean, I got into filmmaking because I wanted to touch people, because I wanted to say something with my films. Mm-hmm. So the fact that I'm being able to do that means the world to me. So thank you for that feedback.
Thank you for sharing, Christine, and I know how hard this work is. I'll briefly introduce myself. My name is Samita Nandi. I'm the director of the Center for Media and Celebrity Studies, now sponsoring the Wall of Fame Film Festival, where Christine's 2 films have been nominated as a semifinalist. And I have a great news. I'm sure Christine knows her third film is a finalist at the annual film festival, which is going to be on August 30th in downtown Toronto, 600 Bay Street. Can't miss it. So if you're listening to this, please join us in person. We're going to be celebrating the top films that we received, and we have excellent scholars, artists, and activists who are going to be present there. So really looking forward to it. Counting down, and please hold on to all questions and comments and reflections. I feel like, so many thoughts are coming to us. Please hold on to them till we start the next book talk. And we're celebrating a book launch, and it's for the anthology, Diverging the Popular, aka Jessica Jones. So congratulations on the publication. It's from University of Calgary. And thank you so much for joining us to celebrate the diversity of gender representations and performances. So we're going to watch a fantastic trailer on this book, and then we're going to talk about the book a little bit. And looking forward to hearing from everybody. So just hold on to your seats. Don't move. And we'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Hello?
Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones debuted in Alias No. 1 in November 2001. Her popularity grew with her own highly acclaimed Netflix series in 2015, followed by The Defenders in 2017.
She's a reluctant superhero. She has, very few allies. She refuses to smile. She has a drinking problem.
I'm just trying to make a living. Booze costs money.
Hello?
Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones debuted in Alias No. 1 in November 2001. Her popularity grew with her own highly acclaimed Netflix series in 2015, followed by The Defenders in 2017.
She's a reluctant superhero. She has, very few allies. She refuses to smile. She has a drinking problem.
I'm just trying to make a living. Booze costs money.
Her character, her story, it all reflects the nuances of what it's like to be a woman in the here and now. That was a large part of our motivation to put together this edited collection. It's a critical analysis of contemporary core issues in an era of #MeToo, Black Lives Matter, toxic masculinity, all packaged into this pop culture phenomenon.
The show allowed for catharsis and conversations. As Sonia Saraya at Variety has said, Jessica Jones is Marvel's personification of female rage. She is the character we need yet again to meet another tumultuous social and political moment in time.
Because of technical issues, we got to listen to the fantastic words that Grace had to share. Let me bring Grace up on stage. Grace and Pri and Jessica, thank you so much. Congratulations on your book, and what a fantastic trailer. Grace, do you want to share some thoughts on the book? How is the readership going, and what do you envision with the progress of the publication?
That's a really great question. It was just released just December of 2024. So it is starting to gain a little bit of traction within our little academic communities. So for folks who don't know, it is currently on sale through the University of Calgary Press. You can find it actually in various, wherever you buy your books. And you can also read it for free. We did make this open access, and that was something that we were very mindful of because of the just simply because of a lot of the as you know other academics are aware of this as well, a lot of kind of barriers to accessing kind of important scholarship, especially when we're talking about this from a kind of socioeconomic kind of now like level. So we wanted to make sure that it was available for many folks, not just it is an academic book, but we did want to make sure that we are also reaching not just fans and academics, but also fans themselves who love the series as much as we do. I mean, we were very sad to hear that it was going to be done by the end of season 3, but not sure if any other folks had heard, particularly folks who have been watching Daredevil Born Again, but there's an announcement that Jessica Jones is going to be making an appearance in the second season of Daredevil Born Again. So a lot of the things that we have talked about in this book, we're hoping to have continuing conversations as she continues to be part of a very active part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but also Marvel Comics at large. And yes, we do want to kind of keep going with this type of with scholarship, really understanding kind of the ways that kind of these kind of narratives from a feminist kind of perspective, a feminist lens, how these types of very real experiences that women and marginalized genders and those who have other marginalized identities, like for example race and class and sexualities, the ways that they experience the world, especially in an urban landscape like New York, but other urban landscapes. So we're really hoping that this is really the beginning of more of these types of conversations within academia, and really thinking about the importance of pop culture as a kind of medium to worthwhile of studying.
Yeah, I found your book really enlightening. Both Bethan and I haven't seen the Netflix series, but I just loved how you opened up space to talk about a superhero, a woman superhero with so many layers, you know, and she's flawed, you know, she's problematic, you know, she doesn't have to be perfect, but she can still be strong. So I think that challenges a lot of the heteronormative, you know, narratives that we have around how women should act, you know, and in relation to men. So you break a lot of dichotomies and barriers. You show the dualities and the process, you know. And I think that also speaks to the representations that Christine is also bringing onto screen. You know, it's as an independent filmmaker, I feel like, you know, there's so much room to explore these themes. And it's so wonderful to see that media corporations like Netflix, and now it's on Disney Plus, like they're opening up this space, I think, to make possible, you know, everyday life heroes. And, you know, we're talking about a superhero here who's just an inspiration. Any thoughts, Kiera, Bethan?
Yeah, I do. So one of the things that I loved so much about this show, Jessica Jones, and the character overall is really about the representation in terms of, you know, a lot of the women superheroes that we get in the Marvel universe are, you know, kind of like the Black Widow, the sexy woman in, you know, the all leather tight clothing. And with Jessica Jones, we get a big divergence from that stereotype, and we get something different and something gritty and complicated, and an attempt to move away from that stereotypical representation as sort of articulated through the male gaze. And that's one area that I thought connected really well with Christine's film, in terms of thinking about the body image, how we are told through the media and through popular culture that certain bodies should look or sort of try to look. So I found that really refreshing about Jessica Jones. It was not a show in which the woman superhero is attempting to be sexy for the male gaze. She's gritty. She's often wearing the same clothing. She's, cussing, she's drinking, she's, doing what she wants. And she's not attempting to be this perfect superhero either. So I thought that was really powerful. And I think the book does such a great job of dissecting that, as well as all the other elements that Grace mentioned, how all the other characters intersect in terms of their identities and the issues that are brought up in the show from that.
And I also feel very honored and privileged to talk about she is a celebrity character. She's a superhero. And on behalf of Celebrity Studies, I feel very honored and privileged to talk about, such a diverse celebrity character. And here, Diana says superheroes are in the everyday. This is an amazing representation. So I think what the book also opens up is space, again, for us to consider, for us to perceive, those everyday life superheroes, and role models. So thank you for doing that. Diana also says that this changes the image of what real heroes can look like. So this is very important to remember. Tanner, Christine, do you have any initial thoughts on what the book is opening up for us to consider?
Well, I haven't had a chance to read it, but based on being a film student and having gone through film studies and understanding all of the buzzwords that you're talking about, the male gaze and the academic words, what I really appreciate is you opening it up to people, because it can be so hard to access academic resources for people who might be interested or to delve deeper into things. So I really appreciate that. So I'm definitely looking forward to having a look at it. So
I really appreciate the challenge on the female form in general. As a drag queen, it's very difficult to get anything that fits my body. And I have a larger body, I have a broader shoulders, and to find anything that fits is a challenge and a half, or I have to pay an arm and a leg to get something structurally built for me. I find I'm making my own stuff. So to see that transition through every form, shape, size, it's something that's needed to be talked about for a long time, and pushing that envelope and the fact that we're studying it is amazing.
Yeah, so it's a groundbreaking book. Grace.
I go by either or. It's completely fine.
All the same. Kiera, Jessica, Pri, it's a groundbreaking anthology that you put together, and I'm really looking forward to the continued dialogue that this book can bring to all. Tanner, thank you for sharing your experiences, your personal experiences, and I believe the character that you played in Queen Bree, that is a role model to consider. Today we're talking about role models and superheroes. And like Diana said, superheroes are in the everyday. It's just a matter of, keeping our eyes open and having, a perception, to perceive that, which Mary and Kiera and the whole team did. So thank you for your, for your insights. We'll take a look at the film Queen Bree right now. So we're going to go backstage again, and we're going to watch the final film, and I'm sure you're going to love it, and I'm looking forward to your views on that too. So just give me a moment.
I once had a girl, it was almost Hey.
Hi, beautiful. You ready?
So, don't judge me. I can't perform tonight. Can you let Mitchell know?
Oh, no, you don't. I've stuck my neck out to get you this gig, and you've bailed twice already. Mitchell said that this is your last chance, so it's now or never, sweetie.
I appreciate your unending support, but I just can't.
I love you, hun, but it's getting harder to help you when you won't help yourself.
Just let Mitchell know, okay?
Uh-huh.
Who are you?
Jeremy, go upstairs and play with your toys for a few minutes.
Okay, Dad.
Close the door. What is this?
Well, it's me, but as Queen Bree.
You're in a dress.
Well, I'm in a dress and a wig.
No, this ain't you, Joe. You don't play dress up.
What?
What?
You just called me Joe.
No, I didn't, Brian. Look, I don't have time to argue with you, okay? Tonight is the Twisted Sister farewell tour. You got me the tickets last Christmas, remember?
Yeah. Hair metal and heels. How could I forget?
Huh? Anyways, Sandra's flight home was delayed. She can't pick up Jeremy before I have to leave. You have to take him. I need to see this concert. Go get changed out of this thing.
But tonight was supposed to be my debut performance as Queen Bree at the Pit.
I can't go out like this. People will see you.
That's kind of the point, Darren. And how is it any of your business?
You're my brother. I live in this town too. Don't you think I'll suffer when people figure out about your little hobby?
Well, it's not a hobby. And how would you suffer?
What about Dad, huh? What if he finds out? You think his heart could take this? Remember how he reacted to the rumors about you in high school?
You know as well as I do that those were not...
Now, hold on, I gotta take this.
Rumors.
Oh, hey, little dude. Your dad had to take a call. Why don't you come on out for a bit?
Are you Uncle Brian's friend?
Yes. My name is Bree. It's nice to meet you.
Uncle Brian calls me little dude. Where is he? Why are you wearing so much makeup?
I like your baseball shirt. Do you play?
Yeah, me and Uncle Brian love to throw the ball around. He's pretty good, but not as good as me.
Is that so? Do you have a favorite team?
Yeah, I like the Houston Astros.
Really? Me too.
Cool. My favorite player is Jose Altuve. He was signed to the Astros when he was 16 and played his first major league game when he was 21. I like you. You know a lot about baseball.
Jeremy, can you give us a few minutes? Okay, we'll talk about this later. That was Sandra. She will be back on time for me to drop Jeremy off. I'll miss the opening act, but I really think you should reconsider your choices.
These aren't choices, Darren. This is who I am. Why can't you see that?
I don't want what happened to Joe to happen to you. You think I want to lose you too?
Darren, you decided to push Joe away when you found out he was gay. Joe didn't kill himself because of who he was. It was because the way that people he loved treated him.
What was that noise?
Oh, it's okay, little dude. A book just fell off the mantle.
Uncle Brian?
So, I'm Brian and I'm Bree.
You're a boy, and how can you be two people at once?
Well, I'm Brian and I'm Bree, so sometimes I feel like a boy and sometimes I feel like a girl. And other times I don't feel like either.
That's funny.
I can see how you would think that. Most people don't feel that way. But we're all unique, right? Think of Jose Altuve. He almost didn't get signed to the major leagues because he was too short. But now he's one of the best players in the league. You gotta follow your heart.
That makes sense.
Go to your show.
I just missed the bus. I'm not gonna make it there in time, and it was my last chance at the pit.
What do you think? Could we give him a ride?
If we left right now and caught all the lights... Wait. Hey, love, it's me. Yeah, I'm on my way. I'm just gonna be a little late. Can you ask Mitchell if he can push me later in the set? Love ya. Let me just grab my stuff.
That was such a fantastic film, Christine. Like, I keep watching, and Tanner, you're the star of this film, and you are such a good actor. And, you know, you bring out the characters so well. You're very good with characterization. And what I really loved about this film is that you see two sides of the story, Christine, and you use the feminist lens of inquiry to show diverse gender representations, but also to talk about, you know, family struggles. You know, it's so beautifully portrayed. And the resolution at the end. Christine, what are your thoughts at this moment after watching your film with everybody celebrating today?
Yeah, no, it was great to tune in. It's been a while as I've moved on to further projects. You don't always go back and visit them as often as you'd like sometimes. But I mean, no, I'm super proud of this film. I mean, the little one was my son. You know, I roped him into being it because I wrote it from his eyes. That was him. Like, he's so open and curious about things, but just open to be like, you tell him something and he's like, okay, makes sense. And it doesn't matter what. And he, you know, and so I really wrote that character not for him, but, you know, in his eyes. And then when I was having trouble casting, I'm like, honey. So he ended up acquiescing, and I said, just be you. So, but you know, yeah, it was an important. I mean, Tanner and I originally talked about doing a doc, which is actually the doc that is the finalist in August. Originally, I was going to do a doc about Tanner, but then in discussions, I decided to go that route. But then wanted to write my fiction film for that year, because we had to write 3 films this year. All 3 of these films were my second year films, so in writing the script, I said, you know what? Why don't I write my fiction, not about Tanner per se, but about a drag queen that he could then come and perform with me. He's actually directed. We performed together as actors. He's directed me in shows, so we've worked a lot together. So I said, let's get you acting on screen, and that's sort of how that came about. And then it became a script developed in class that was then shot at the end of the year.
Fantastic. And before I forget, I just wanted to ask you, are you working on a feature film or more shorts?
So right now, because I'm still in school, I'm going into my 4th year. I'm still working on school projects. So I just did a short doc that I'm going to be releasing into the festival circuit once I just finish a few touch-ups on it in post. And then I'll be working towards something next year. I'm not 100% sure what, but definitely I'm writing a feature screenplay. So there are certainly things in there, and that one's actually about a little sneak peek, but it's about a woman in Victorian times who doesn't like to the fact that she's put on as these, has to act in this feminist way. Shocker, as with the themes of the things that I write. But and there's a bit of a sci-fi twist in there too. So
wow.
Anyway. So yes, I'm slowly working on future projects, but just trying to get through school right now.
And very, very proud of York University, to open up that space. I know how much development there has been there since I graduated. That was like, trying to count the numbers, 20 years ago I graduated.
That was my first degree, was 20 years ago. I'm just back for the next one.
I'm counting the numbers, 21. So yeah, that's fantastic. Really happy to see all the progress. Tanner, how do you feel?
I honestly haven't watched it in a while because same thing. I've moved on to a whole bunch of other projects. So to watch it again, I was kind of like, oh yeah, I wore my Gunkel shirt for the purpose. I needed to wear it. So it was really fun to film this. My best friend and I share a house, and she has a 4-year-old. And I know from the perspective of the child coming out and seeing a drag queen standing in their living room, I've already had the reaction of, what is that? So it's been really awesome to be able to do a video like this and connect with who I am on that side. Is I have to explain this to a 4-year-old on a regular basis. Who is Pam? Who is this creature that just walked into my living room when Uncle Tanner just walked out? How did this transition happen? And he's been coming to Pride events, and it's been nice to kind of break that mold right now that we have of kids can't be around drag queens, and to challenge that perspective. We have picketers at Pride every year that come around and they get angry, and it's me carrying a 4-year-old around in full drag, and to kind of break that systemic hate is really amazing. Another way that I love this is connecting with the family aspect. The challenge of coming out of the closet once as LGBTQIS2+ is one thing, but then to have to then come out again on top of that as, hey, I wear women's clothes for money. It's really hard. My dad is a very macho sergeant with Metro Toronto Police, so trying to come out to him, I was terrified. And the choice I made was just to walk out of the basement in full drag and terrify the daylight out of him. And his only response was, Tanner, you're wearing heels on my hardwood floor. What is happening? And not a lot of people get that acceptance, and it's very hard to find. So for me to be able to share mine and be able to be that person, the mother, the father for people that don't have one, it's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I think you speak to so many people, just to, take up that space and, just to be there, do it, and any thoughts, Kiera, Grace, Bethan?
I can go.
Go ahead.
Oh. Well, first of all, that was so wonderful. I couldn't help but smile the entire time of watching, especially in the end. But what really stood out to me was what Queen Bree said, in response to this idea of you're going to be seen. That's kind of the point. And it kind of resonates with me a lot, especially in this kind of important kind of contemporary kind of issues. I don't even want to call them issues, but they are people have made a big issue about the visibility of drag queens and drag. Especially we see it a lot in the United States, but it is here as well in Canada, of particular conservative groups concerned about like drag queens reading in a library to young kids. It may it's for us, those for us folks who are very much in this kind of guided by intersectional feminist principles, it makes no sense to us. But I mean, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it out myself, just trying to like wrap around my head. Like what is there kind of, what is the train of thought here that makes this such an issue? But we also need to remember that, you know, this is not just something that's happened in the last couple of years. It certainly has amplified in the last couple of years, but there's always this kind of question of visibility, of not just of you know, visibility of drag queens, of members of the LGBTQ plus community, particularly trans folks, but also any gender that is not a you know, cis hetero male, essentially. And also, I just wanted to point out in the chat, Pri said, I need a Gunkel shirt too. So where did you get that shirt, Tanner?
I got it online. I no idea. It came up on one of those really terrible marketing ads for Facebook where you're scrolling and it's just like, oh, here. And I'm like, I need this shirt. So that targeted ad hit me perfectly.
There we go. So the algorithms sometimes work in our favor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. And also just like, and going back to the young child, sorry, Christine, you said it was your son that was in that. There was such an innocence to it, and really shows you that prejudice is learned. And because it's learned, it can also, you know, in theory, easily, but as we understand, unlearning takes a lot of dismantling of our assumptions and biases. It can also be quite difficult. So thank you for that.
Yeah, you just beautifully, yeah, there's no better way to say what you said, Grace. So thank you. Yeah, there's a lot of unlearning here to do. And Christine showed that beautifully. I was wondering what Jessica Jones would say. Kiera, any thought?
Yeah, first I just want to say that I echo everything Grace said. It was just such a beautiful, moving, and important film, particularly for our current political climate, which is becoming increasingly violent and scary. But also, you know, this has historically been the case. It just seems to be more in our faces these days. So I just wanted to say that, first of all. Yeah, I think Jessica Jones would have loved this. I think Jessica Jones would be a major supporter of drag queens. Essentially, she is just kind of, you know, against anybody who is prejudiced and biased in any type of way. So I think she would have really liked that and enjoyed a drag show herself.
Yeah, Jessica Jones is a celebrity character, but I think she would have been a fan of Tanner too.
Yeah.
Bethan, coming from fan studies, what would you say?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Tanner. I'm a fan of Queen Brie after watching that. It was amazing. I loved it, and like I think Grace and Kiera have already said a lot of the things I wanted to say. But one thing that I really liked was this Jo is kind of almost this hidden character in the background, but also a really important one, because I'm assuming this was maybe another sibling but someone that Darren pushed away because he was gay. And that I just thought that was really powerful, particularly because knowing that Brian still performs Queen Brie, and he's still, even though he's clearly terrified to like get up on stage, and he's, you know, really sort of worried about it, he's doing it anyway. And there's that kind of inner power that's kind of coming through. Is that, well, yeah, I am going to be seen, and what the hell is wrong with that? And I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was really. I want to see a longer version. I want to see this turned into a feature film. You know.
Christine.
Yeah, this is your next project, Christine.
Yeah, I want to see the performance.
Yes, yeah.
I want to see Tanner starring in more films, short,
Yes.
feature, videos, poetry videos, dance videos. Are you a
Yeah,
fan
no,
of that?
oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say I was really, really interested, and actually Jessica's made a comment in the chat about the producers of Jessica Jones kind of learning from their audience, so that focus. And I haven't seen the show, although after reading the book, I kind of feel like I should. But there's this focus on white feminism, and then the producers have taken that and tried to incorporate more of this intersectional lens, which I think is really important. And that's one of the areas in which I think fans can really make a difference. And, I know we're seeing a lot, touch wood, less so in the UK, although, given a certain author whose name won't be mentioned and the kind of right wing increasingly parties that are coming through, that may change. But I think we are beginning to see that actually there is pushback against a lot of this stuff, despite really, really vocal conservative or right wing voices. There's a lot of fan activism taking place that counters that. And I think that's really important and very necessary as well.
Jessica adds here, the producers took that criticism and tried to incorporate more of an intersectional lens into the production and story elements. So I'd like to think that Jessica Jones would address more LGBTQ plus. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, it just shows that fandom has a lot of power. And I think that's what we were trying to also show, Kira, at the end of our last conference. And we were talking about celebrity counterpublics and how fans can become celebrity counterpublics and become everyday life role models, just using visual communication. And I believe the book started then, Kira, the journey of the book, did it start at that time?
I think so. It might have been a bit before that, but it was all happening around that time for sure.
Okay. Yeah, cool. So, well, any final thought? Like, I feel like there's so much to say, when it comes to how visibility matters and representation is key. And I guess my final question would be for both the Christine and all the editors and authors of the book, what would you like the audience to take away from the film and the book as they move forward? And where would you like your film and book to go next? Is this a broad question? Just any thought that comes to your heart, Christine?
Sure, yeah, I can start. I think for me, for them to question their thinking. If I have one person who re-questions their thinking or approaches somebody differently or reframes a belief because of what they saw, then I've done my job. So that being said, my goal is to try to have it reach as many people as possible, to therefore try and change as many minds as possible that are maybe outside of, those who, I know there are many who agree, and those are the people who I surround myself with, but I want maybe those who don't agree, who can maybe take something or connect to it on some level and make a different choice or as I said, reframe a belief. So
are you looking to screen the film at different universities and colleges on top of film festivals, which I think it's doing very well?
Yeah, it's doing all right. And I haven't actually looked into doing private screenings or things like that, but that's actually an interesting way, see if I can get into some classes that might be focused on some of those topics. So yeah, that's an interesting avenue. Thank you for planting a seed.
Tanner, any final thought? Where would you like yourself and the film to go forward?
I mean, if it becomes a feature film, I wouldn't be upset with it. But I think I want to thank Christine for writing how it was written, because it's stuff that I deal with on a regular basis that I can't put into words a lot of the time. So to sit down and go through it in a short film and a script and be able to convey so many messages in such a short period of time, I feel honored to be given that ability.
I do feel a feature film would be fantastic. And given that you have such a successful short film, Christine, I have no doubt that the feature film will start off with a very good platform. So yeah.
Thank you.
Grace?
Yeah, so for me, what both films and what this book uncovers is we've come so far, but there is still a lot more to continue to unpack. I was just thinking about really a lot of the connecting thread is how we discuss femininity, this question of femininity has been commodified for decades, if not even like the past century and a half, with the ways that the beauty industry has really taken hold of that. And we need to, like, you know, as academics, as activists, as filmmakers, we need to, you know, continue to challenge that notion, because again, we're seeing some of those kinds of assumptions change over time, yet it's still pervasive, right? We still have a lot of the kinds of ways that, if we look at the beauty industry, it's still very much like a very booming industry. We take a look at Jessica Jones. She is not the kind of typical kind of female superheroine that's made for the male gaze. She still is made for the male gaze if you think about it, but she's still kind of, and she may not have the kind of same kind of stereotypical feminine features, but like not features, but like, traits, but she is still a cis white heterosexual woman. And so there's still a lot to unpack there. And this is something that, Kira already touched on, but as well as Jessica had mentioned, as well as Pri, there was a lot of fan criticism about how that was depicted, how she was depicted, throughout the series, and the ways that producers sought to kind of address them. Again, there's still a long ways to go. And again, we were really disappointed to hear that she was canceled after her series was canceled after season 3, but it would be nice to see. I am quite looking forward to seeing how she's going to be depicted in future iterations, as she will appear in Daredevil Born Again, but also the kind of future of female superheroes in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We started seeing it with the Marvels, for example, the introduction of Ms. Marvel or Kamala Khan. But yeah, so really kind of keeping that conversation going. And, as an academic, or, one of our main job really is to make these continue to really get students.
Grace, I think there's some technical issue. I'm just going to read out something that Pri added. Could anybody hear Grace, or is it just me?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, where did I get cut off?
No, probably towards the end. But yeah, there was some technical issue. But thank you for.
Yeah, sorry about that. No, the Wi-Fi is not always great. But yeah, so like really, just hoping to kind of continue challenging, our current generation, but also the next generation of fans and artists, activists, and scholars.
Yeah, Pri adds here, for me personally, I want to do more fanzines for the project. I hope it helps readers understand the impact of anti-heroes and variety of representation. So that's powerful. Bethan, any final thought?
I kind of feel like I really need to watch Jessica Jones. Like that's that's one of my big takeaways from this. But no, I think what Grace said about speaking to fans as well is really important. And I love the fact that the book is open access, so that fans can access it. Because one of the things that I try to do is reach fans. Like, they're interested in this stuff. They're not kind of passive viewers. They create, they think, they write. And I think having that ability to engage theoretically with their favored texts in a really open way, in a really, kind of down from the ivory tower kind of way is really important. And I think that's a really, really good thing from what I've started reading in the book so far. I think it does it really, really well.
Thank you, Bethan. Any final thought, Christine and Tanner, before we sign off today? We're just over an hour. Time has flown. It's very hard to say goodbye because I feel there's so much potential with both the film and the book. And if you're in Toronto, please come to our final event that's on August 30th to watch Christine's finalist film, and that's going to be in person. We're planning a potluck there too. So I was just having a chat yesterday with one of the community members, and we're planning appetizers before the screening and potluck after. So there's going to be food. And it would be wonderful to celebrate in person. And that film is about disability. Christine, do you want to just briefly mention how that topic connects to today's theme on gender diversity?
Well, so it's a documentary about actually a coffee shop that runs a program where adults with intellectual disabilities can come there about grade 1 to grade 6 academic level, and they come and they make the products, they interact with the community, they sell the coffee and things like that, as well as doing academic programming for them. And it's accessing, it's for variety, right? It's for everybody. So there are a variety of people of all identities, of all races, of all ethnic backgrounds. So it just shows diversity in general, and how, you know, the community can come together to support that.
Yeah, and I think overall you're also questioning ableism here and showing different abilities. So this film particularly talks about disability and the power of different abilities. But I think you know, the way we're able to show different gender representations and, you know, how we perform gender, it's also questioning ableism also. So I think that's something to keep in mind, and I think that's one of the biggest takeaways, and also how fans can be everyday life heroes and role models. And I believe each one of you here, you are a hero, and very honored and privileged to feature your works on behalf of the CMCS Wall of Fame. And yeah, so looking forward to the progress of your work. So stay in touch. I want to hear all the success going forward from here. And I hate to say goodbye. It's hard to say bye, but I believe we're going to be in touch, and really excited for today and all the developments that are happening. So congratulations.
Thank you so much for inviting, you know, myself and Kira, Priya, and Jessica. I just noticed that one of our other authors is here as well. Ian Fitzgerald is in the chat.
Oh,
did not realize he had just snuck in.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, I mean, the book covers so much, and you have such a wonderful bunch of authors.
Yeah, it was such a great, wonderful experience to really get into, you know, to put together this book. We just a lot of learning involved in putting together an edited collection, but we couldn't have asked for a better group of folks to be our contributors to be the contributors to this edited collection.
I'm just reading Kiera's comments here, and I don't think we're going away anywhere soon. I'm just reading her comments here. So Kiera says, my takeaway from this is, with the success and popularity of Jessica Jones and interactions with fans, we know there's an audience and a desire for more diverse representation. So hope we will continue to see more artifacts in media and popular culture. I personally want to see more independent productions within and beyond celebrity culture, and bridge the gaps, you know, between media corporations and, you know, education in general, which was the theme of our first publication, you know, when we started our conference series. And yeah, so more independent productions, and love all the comments coming in. Thank you so much, everybody, for contributing to today's dialogue. Jessica says, she really is the hero, and we need still as the world burns around us.
On that note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also Jessica says, thank you for featuring the book here today. Really honored and privileged, and alongside Christine's amazing film. So we'll end on a positive note here.
Yes.
Thank you so much. And
Thank you
stay
so
in
much.
touch.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And have a fantastic weekend.
You too.